What's crackin' like? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know so, Cam Newton, will he be starting this season? Well, he's practicing, so likely. But will this maybe be his last chance in Carolina? Well, let's discuss. But first and foremost, hit that thumbs up, hit that red button if you like the content, of course. But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the season preview for the Carolina Panthers. Let's look at the Carolina offense. Cam Newton. He had a rough time last year. Granted, he was hurt, but I think the selection of Will Grier in the third round wasn't just I don't think it was just insurance. They could be very well grooming the next guy. If injuries are catching up, the way he's been used and his style of play, maybe he's hurt. Maybe he can't. Maybe he's on the decline. I don't think that's the case. I think he'll come in and have a fine year because he's got a good playmaker in Christian McCaffrey. Played really well, had over 100 receptions. And the running back, woo, man. Dude's nasty. He is a threat. And DJ Moore, if he could turn into more, oh, I'm so punny. Anyway, if he could turn into more than just a vertical threat, because the dude's a speedster. But I want to see more intermediate routes. If you could do that, then that would help Cam out a ton. Jarius Wright played all right. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm on today. It's that good water. It's that good H2O. Yeah. Thank you, Bobby Boucher. But Jarius Wright, he played okay last year, and then they're bringing Chris Hogan, who they could put on the outside and dump in the inside. So it's not the best unit, like pass catching unit, but it could be worse. It's not terrible. Greg Olsen, hopefully he could stay healthy, because currently his backup Ian Thomas hasn't really showed much. Granted, he hasn't really had he had a big opportunity last year when Greg Olsen went down, but I don't know. Just Cam Newton's play has been a little bit all over the place. This offensive line, though, I think looks much improved. I think what they're going to end up doing, because they got Darrell Williams on that one-year deal, I think they're just going to kick him into the inside. They're going to let Greg Little, I think in an ideal situation, they kick him to the inside. He plays well. He stays healthy. They get him to some sort of long-year deal or an extension. But I think they want Greg Little playing there at right. And then you got Taylor Moden playing at left. Turner had kind of an up and down year last year. He was really good run blocker, but we know he's capable of much more. And then Paredes coming off of an injury he suffered last year with the Broncos. Overall, talent-wise, very good talent at the offensive line. Just will they put it all together? Let's go ahead. Let's look at the defense, because this defense is interesting. Because they used to be a 4-3, and they still are going to use parts of a 4-3 defense, but they're going to incorporate more 3-4, because I think in the long term, they're going to eventually just switch to the 3-4 defense. So I went ahead and I put it as a 3-4 defense up on here. You got Kwame Short. You got Poe, who's his plays declined over the years. And then you got Gerald McCoy, who, honestly, man, that's a good-looking line. And they added Brian Burns as a pass rusher. Woo, that's why they got Christian Miller, too, out of Alabama. They're trying to get the pieces for this 3-4 defense. But that defensive line could still work as a 4-3. Just kicking Short and McCoy to the inside, rotating Poe, and they also got Kyle Love, Ferron Butler if they keep him. He's kind of been a first round bust, but they have Mario Addison and Bruce Irvin to play those end roles in a traditional 4-3 defense. So it's gonna be an interesting. Honestly, when I was putting this together, this front seven looks much better than I thought it would be. So it might not be that much of a transition or that tough of a transition to a 3-4 for the Panthers, because Shaq Thompson is a gifted athlete. I mean, the man could fly around everywhere. Just want to see smarter plays from him. You know what you're getting with Luke Kuechly. The dude's one of the best defensive players in the league. But I want to see more consistency from the secondary. James Bradbury and Dante Jackson, they had their highs, but boy, man, they had lows too last year. Eric Reed, I think, is kind of a liability in coverage right now. Yeah. He'll be playing more of a box role. Honestly, I could see. The thing is, there's no one behind him. There's no one to challenge these guys for, there's no competition, you know? Let's take a look at their corners right now. They got Ross Cockrell, who he fizzled out with the Giants. Kevin Seymour, who I really liked coming out of USC, and he played really well in the preseason for Buffalo a few years ago, but he just hasn't been able to put that in games. So, but that's that's about it. You got Corn Elder. So they need to add more talent there in the secondary, or at least competition for some of these guys. So I think it's gonna be a rebuilding year. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe if that offense plays lights out, then I think Carolina can still be very competitive. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this schedule, because Wolf starting out with the Rams. Ugh, and that's a home game. You got home games against Buccaneers, Jaguars. You got Buccaneers again, the Titans. It's a pretty tough schedule, because you get Tennessee, you get Indianapolis, San Fran, you got Seattle, Green Bay, the Houston Texans, and then on top of that, you're playing against the Falcons and the Saints twice a year, on top of the Buccaneers, who don't sleep on the Bucs just yet. I believe in Bruce Arians, I believe. But it's a tough schedule. Honestly, I think a 5-11, maybe 6-10 sounds about right this year for the Panthers. You'll probably end up getting getting a top 10 pick, which that's good. If you didn't know, this 2020 receiving class is kind of bonkers. They good. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. So, till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.